free class in Afro Flow Yoga will be given tomorrow in Roxbury at the Bruce Bolling Municipal Center. To tell us about the event and their approach to yoga are the two co-founders of Afro Flow Yoga, Leslie Salmon Jones and Jeff W. Jones. Thank you both very much for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
I want to hear from both of you talk about how you got into yoga, because you know one of you is a musician, the other was a dancer. Leslie, start with you.
Yes, I was first introduced to yoga at Alvin Ailey when I was training at Alvin Ailey back in 1991. Alvin Ailey in New York, for people who don't know. It was a requirement for us to take yoga. And so yoga and dance have always been connected for me. And so I've been practicing and then teaching ever since.
Jeff, you're a musician, more often maybe as a bass player or electric bass. How does that take you to yoga?
With the frequencies mainly, it's about the chakras and the sounds and the vibrations. So it's really a lot of healing and a lot of synergy. With our particular Afro Flow Yoga, we feedback from the energy of the people who come to the class.
Give me a sample of something that you might do, because you have an instrument in front of you here, and I want to hear, what does this sound like when you're playing?
Well, mainly I play djembe, conga, bongos, and I have Indian bells on my right foot and a foot tambourine. So I have a lot of things going on. But just we have soothing sounds that we use, and then we have sounds that drive people. So I sing when I'm playing and doing the class with all the different instruments.
Leslie, what about the musical aspect of yoga? Because sometimes people think of it as stretching or exercise, but there's pulsation going on to it.
Yeah. Well, we like to think about music and dance being something that we all do. So if you think about the planet, it's always in motion. And then there's actually vibration that goes out. So it's natural for people to respond to music and also to motion. So the music, Jeff does such a great job of bringing all the different instruments together to our classes that bring people, it brings them in touch with their emotions often, brings them in touch with their joy, and then also sometimes helps them relax and then release stress.
We're going to show a little sample of some of this as it is in action.
I'm going to exhale around spine. Your whole wheels down. Lengthen your spine. The first goes let my heart is on fire. So does that feel? Let my heart is on fire.
Jeff, when you're actually playing in one of these classes, what's it like? I mean, in a way that's different from a normal musical performance.
It's very different in regards to the interaction between the participants and the instructor or the musician. We're all creating a community. And a lot of yoga classes you get in and you're on your mat, and it's more like a military format. So we welcome people. People get to talk about their offerings in the community. And that's the first thing that people notice, that they can actually meet people there and build a community or become a part. We have a lot of people who have never been to Boston, and then all of a sudden, they now know 10 people or maybe 30 people. So, yeah.
Well, so if you're describing this to someone who's never tried it before, what does yoga do for you?
Oh, there's so many benefits to yoga. It helps relieve stress. It helps calm the nervous system. It helps prevent injury, and it also keeps you young. So I think when we're babies, we're so flexible. When we're little kids, we're flexible, and as we age, we tend to get stiff joints and muscles and tend to have pain in certain areas. So it really helps relieve pain, and also just keeps you agile, and it can help you with your moods and just gives you an overall sense of well-being.
Jeff, one of the other things going on, people are asked to move muscles that they don't usually use. A lot of us, we sit at a desk all day, maybe we walk or ride a bike, but when someone says you got to move your hips, what's the point of that?
That's to what doesn't flex breaks. So you have to. We're like, I feel like we're like saran wrap, and it's always getting tighter and tighter, the fascia tissue in the body. So you always have to stretch it to make sure it's going to go. Every day it's trying to shrink on you. So that's something that really relaxes people, keeps them from injuring. It's the main thing.
Yeah. Leslie, the other part of the story here is I guess, the roots of this approach to yoga. And of course, one of the things that was new for me is this is yoga that's been practiced for, hundreds of years, maybe longer, in Africa. I always think of yoga as India, but tell me the African part of the story.
Yeah, so yoga's been practiced in ancient Egypt. If you see on the hieroglyphics, you'll actually see the yoga postures on the hieroglyphics, such as different shapes. And I think the main thing is that yoga is reflected in nature, in trees and animals. Animals tend to stretch and meditate, and so do babies. And so it's within all of us. So when people come to our classes, we like to encourage people to know that it's not outside of them, but it's within all of us. And it doesn't have to be stressful doing it. It can be very relaxing. We encourage people to meet them where they are. So if you're a beginner, we welcome beginners. And you don't have to do the full class. You can modify and relax and do it.
Jeff, what about the setting for this tomorrow? This is going to be in the bowling building. You've got this nice big space there in the ground floor.
Yes, it's beautiful. It's on the second floor. And we have been collaborating with the building to do these events. So we look for the main thing is that it's in the community, make it accessible to the folks close by. And as Leslie had mentioned, all levels are welcome. We have people who own yoga studios. We have people who have never really danced or haven't danced in years, especially, folks have raised their family. Now they start moving, the muscle memory kicks in. And it's like, oh yeah. And you combine that with the yoga and the dance, and people can just go at their own pace also. They don't have to, do all the...
Leslie, some other participants we should mention, including Reverend Liz Walker, who will be involved in this.
Yes, Reverend Liz Walker, who's been a dear friend and a mentor. We've been working with her trauma healing program, the Social Impact Center there. They're doing a wonderful job. So we teach the mind-body classes once a month on Thursdays. So tomorrow she'll be there and she'll be talking about the program. And what's wonderful about her program, it's free and all are welcome. And there's childcare and there's free meals. So she has a weekend talk program on Thursdays, last Thursday of every month, and we teach on the first Thursday of every month.
We should mention the exact time this starts tomorrow?
Tomorrow is from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m.
And of course, you've got a website where people can get some more details too?
Yes, www.afroflowyoga.com.
Thank you both very much, Leslie Salmon Jones.
Thank you.
And Jeff Jones.
Thank you.
We'll have more news in just a moment.